Justin Baldoni's actor, friend, hired for IEWU birth scene, surprised by Blake Lively's claims, willing to testify. A source says Blake Lively was extremely uncomfortable upon learning. The actor who was placing his face between her legs was the boss's best friend. A friend of Justin Baldoni, who played a doctor in It Ends With Us, said his recollection of filming the birth scene with Blake Lively differs from her version. A source says Lively was extremely uncomfortable, that the actor who was placing his face between her legs was the boss's best friend. In the scene, the extra said he is willing to testify if he's called into court for the case, scheduled for March 2026. An actor from the set of It Ends With Us doesn't share Blake Lively's recollection of what went down during the filming of their scene together. Adam Monshine spoke out in a statement obtained by Page Six and later shared with People on Tuesday, April 8th, saying, "My experience working with her is very different than the one she described in her lawsuit. Indeed, I was surprised to read her description of the scene." Within Lively's amended complaint that was filed in February 2025, her lawyers claim the set on the day of the birth scene was chaotic, crowded, and utterly lacking in standard industry protections for filming nude scenes. They alleged that Lively, 37, felt forced into a compromise that she would be naked from below the chest down, when director co-star Justin Baldoni insisted to Ms. Lively that women give birth naked. Producer Jamie Heath and Baldoni, 41, failed to close the set, her lawyers said, allowing non-essential crew to pass through while Ms. Lively was partially nude from below the chest down with her legs spread wide in stirrups and only a small piece of fabric covering her genitalia. The actress alleges that she was not provided with anything with which to cover herself between takes until after she had made multiple requests. Per the complaint, Monshine claimed that Lively's costume included a full hospital gown, black shorts, and torso-covering prosthetic to make her appear pregnant in addition to whatever personal garments she chose, echoing points made in Baldoni's amended complaint. To Monshine, the workday seemed entirely professional, and, from what he saw, Lively never complained or expressed discomfort at any point. Another point of contention about the birth scene in Lively's complaint is that she was alarmed that Baldoni hired a best friend to play the OB-GYN. She felt that the selection of Mr. Baldoni's friend for this intimate role, in which the actor's face and hands were in close proximity to her nearly nude genitalia for a birth scene, was invasive and humiliating. Monshine defended his casting, saying it was more than a friendly favor. Ms. Lively's insinuations regarding my qualifications are offensive, as my bona fides are easily searchable online, he said. Baldoni's wife Emily has a cameo in the film as an ultrasound technician, and Lively's sister Robin is an extra in the funeral scene. A source close to the matter reiterates Lively was extremely uncomfortable upon learning the actor who was placing his face between her legs was the boss's best friend, but apparently, the source adds, Baldoni and company think it was perfectly fine to have his best friend play that role. Out of all the actors that could have been chosen, Lively and Baldoni's case is set to go to trial in March 2026. Monshine said, "If I'm called to testify in the case, I will answer truthfully and more freely whatever is asked of me with all the legal protection that affords." Baldoni's amended complaint, filed in January 2025, presented a different take on the birth scene, arguing that Lively's claim that she was mostly naked is dishonest. They added that film footage clearly demonstrates that the set was not chaotic, as she alleges, and only essential individuals, e.g. film crew, talent, were present for the scene and doing their jobs. It Ends With Us became a box office hit in August 2024. In December 2024, Lively sued Baldoni and others for sexual harassment and retaliation, which he denies. Baldoni countersued her and others, claiming extortion and defamation, and her lawyers called it meritless. Her legal team says 2 unnamed female co-stars are willing to testify against Baldoni and share their own uncomfortable experiences. Subscribe for more untold celebrity stories.